Hello, my friends. This is Max, and welcome to another one of our free broadcasts. And, you know, it is true. It is true that what I'm sharing with you is the fastest and the easiest way to build your business on Facebook and LinkedIn in less than an hour a day. There's nothing faster. You don't need to build a website. You don't need to build a list. You don't need to do anything but talk to people. Facebook and LinkedIn, 1.6 billion people, 433 million people, Facebook, LinkedIn. You have free access to all these people. And when you understand how easy it is to qualify people by asking questions, we're going to share with you the top earner prospecting, recruiting, and marketing secrets that really work immediately. I mean, right now, today, you can talk to somebody. As a matter of fact, in the next hour, you could be talking to 5 to 10 people. Absolutely amazing. I love success stories, and Dave here. Again, it's all about quality over quantity. Started a business MLM in February. Company's in pre-launch, free to get in. Well, he recruited 10 people. But when you recruit people into your business that know a lot of people, 60 days has a downline of 5,000 members. So you have free access to all of these people. Talk to anybody. Now it's all about conversation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over and we're going to do a couple of conversational case studies. And in our previous session, we did one with Kim. Now, you have the option. Behind every image, behind every picture, is a person with an online agenda. And the other day, I did a session here with David, and David has been struggling. He's been struggling, and what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate why he's struggling. And the beautiful thing about this is, and this is really the purpose of showing you these, is I want you to understand we're talking about fast. We're talking about immediate. You make a post, people see it, people react. It's not about how many likes you get. It's not about how many people are commenting or sharing what you're doing. You're using social media to talk to people. You can post something and respond to the people who respond to your post, or what you can do is you can respond to something someone else has done. Either way, you're talking to some folks. So, this is a conversation that David's having with a friend. Now, they know each other in the real world. They both belong to a networking group. So we started the conversation last week, all right? And she writes to David, and he writes back, went to one of his events. It was a pleasure meeting you. Look forward to learning more about what you do. No. He lost an opportunity here to say, hey, I look forward to getting to know you or know more about you. What do you do? He didn't ask a question. Both of them communicating on a phone. Okay? Now, why don't we engage? So what's happening here now is I'm actually logged in to David's account. So how do I start this conversation up again? So we pulled out what we call the holiday strategy. What did you do over the holiday? And within 2 minutes, she writes back. And she tells us what she did. And typically, if you want to talk about predictability, you ask somebody what they did, they're going to come back and ask you what you do. Side note, I have veteran friends. And so, we write back. She's talking about, hey, I stayed local and quiet. You just don't want to send people questions after questions. You want to have a conversation. Local and quiet is good. I spend time with friends and enjoy the weather. I so appreciate our vets and am saddened by their treatment by the VA. I see you're in carrot bars. What else do you do? And she comes back 2 minutes later. I've been an entrepreneur for decades. I'm connected to many people of influence. I serve with my heart is what everything I do has in common. What's the next question? We want to know what she does. She gave us a big answer. We know she's in Carrot Bars, so we're going to go back and ask that. Love talking to entrepreneur women. The more passionate we are about what we do, the more fun and fulfillment we get. How long have you been in Carrot Bars? 1 minute later, I don't share the business currently. First question that should come into your mind is, why not? It's not my focus. Why not? What has her focus now? These are all questions that you could ask. 2 years, I do own lots of gold. Now, is it the gold? What kind of gold? Is it jewelry or is it the gold bars? What do you know of Carrot Bars? I co-authored a book about it. Great conversation going on here. Right back. 1 minute later. Don't know much about it. What other networking companies have you been with? And then she goes, LOL. Through the years, too many to text. So right back. What? That many? What was your experience with them? What was your first one? And we're trying to learn about the other person. We're trying to learn whether or not we even want to talk about the business. Too many, for all David knows, she was already in his business. So she comes back with Total Health Incorporated. MLM companies are great, help you become a better person. It's for everyone, but not for everyone. If you know who Jeffrey Combs is, I started with him. Robert Kiyosaki told me not to focus on the product. It's about the system and leverage. Each person from cash flow quadrant has a specific language based on where they are in the quadrant. Speak with business owners, different than employees. And then she said, I see you're following Jeffrey. Have you worked with him? Now, she started with Jeffrey in network marketing. They were both in the same company. Jeffrey Combs now is involved with David's company. So we go, you're very nice, you're right. It's not for everyone, and it's not for everyone. The different people speak differently. I haven't worked with Jeffrey personally. Now, I have to put something in here, okay? This whole conversation started right at the end of a webinar. And at 5:22, I told David I have to bail. And at 6:35, a little over an hour later, I was going to reboot my computer, and I realized I hadn't signed out of David's account. So I'm looking at this, and I'm going, oh no. Because, again, we want to ask a question. So I stick in here, what was your first MLM? I mean, I literally watched this thing go up. And I go, oh, no. And so she comes back with, same as Combs. What makes you ask? I sense there's something that you're seeking. What is it? Okay? Now, again, we're not being salesy. We're not pushing something on someone. But by asking that question, again, about network marketing, you go, hey, you know, what? And this is problematic. Because what he should have said here is, you know, why do I ask? Because, you know, I got to tell you something. I saw you in Carrot Bars, and I was wondering if you ever got, if you ever got involved with a company that was into nutrition. I mean, you know, you'd be incredible to work with. But you see, what David should know, because Jeffrey Combs is in his business, is wouldn't you think that if she was going to get into your company, she'd be getting into the company with Jeffrey Combs? Don't you think? That's why you want to be upfront about it. She probably already was in your company. You have to recognize that. Were you successful in THI? Now, again, this was years ago, and you know, she doesn't come back. She doesn't answer. You got to recognize by the answers you get to questions whether or not someone is a candidate for your business. And it starts with their picture. It starts with the contents of their page. Now, I was kind of doing this for David. I said, David, listen, you know, you're telling me you're on Facebook, you're on LinkedIn, and you know, you aren't able to put all of this together. So let's see why. And all I had to do was go into his message center, and I could see. Okay, on May the 24th, he sends her a friend request. Melanie, your profile is impressive. I'd like to add you to my Facebook contact. It would be great to be friends here. Okay, so now here we are. This is on the 24th, a few days prior to me looking at this. And look who he sent. Look who he was reaching out to. Melanie. Picture, profile, cover. Most abuse, anxiety, drug, exercise. Right? This is it. Now, she did this in January, 5 months ago. Now, the question is, what did he say? Your profile is impressive. You got to be genuine. That what you say has got to have some merit, or you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Now, I'm going to give you another example. This is an example of when persistence is totally wasted. Okay? There are some people that you're going to talk to that are never going to get into your business. Never. Even though they share the professional background, even though clearly they could be great candidates for your business. When you have to learn how they feel about your business model. So this was back in 2013 is when they initially connected. Now this was back in the days when if you asked somebody to be their friend, Facebook would ask you if you knew them. And if they said they don't know you, you'd get a Facebook slap. So that was why this PS was here. It was taken off about maybe a year and a half later. Your page come up as Facebook or someone I should like to know. After looking at it, I have to agree. I have a few friends that are chiropractors and would like to add you as one too. Let's be friends and share a few laughs. Started in December 2013. All right? And, you know, thanks for being friends. What do you do? Chiropractor. Now, look at the time frame here. This is all text. This is all chiropractor. How nice. How long have you been doing it? 6 years. What did you do before? Student. Again. Now she's asking, what do you do? This is all in a space of 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Now what we're looking for, longer information, longer text. What we want to do, okay, we know she's a chiropractor. She's been a chiropractor for 6 years. Immediately, what that should tell you is she knows all about network marketing. It's a given. It's a given. So she asks him, what does he do? And he comes back, I do massage. And I got an internet business that's going to allow me to retire in a few years. What prompted you to become a chiropractor? And she writes back immediately, swimming injury. Well, what did you do to cause that? I was a distance swimmer and butterfly, repetitive motion, shoulder injury. This is, you're having a conversation via chat, via text. You answer with a question, you control the conversation. Sorry to hear that. What happened? HS. All right? Now, I probably would have asked, oh, high school. How does that affect your work? It doesn't. It was 16 years ago. The chiropractor got me back to swimming. I fell in love with the profession. Now, this is live. How many people do you see at a time? One, I haven't mastered the adjusting 2 people at once. And she's smart. I see about 70 people a day. 70 people a day, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people, okay? Now, so he comes back and he goes, LOL, I haven't mastered massaging more than 1 body at a time either. Although I can do 2 people at a time, 70, that's a lot. Okay, so the next question in the scripts book is how are you being affected by what's happening with the economy? So he throws it out there. See, I would have asked a different question. At this juncture, what I would have said is, you know, listen, I'm curious, with all of your experience, in the 6 years you've been a chiropractor, have you got involved, you know, what experience did you have with network marketing? So, no, practice is growing faster than I can keep up. Now he comes back, where did you go to school? Now, here he's trying to answer his own question. If he should have just said, she said, Palmer's. Now, I want you to notice how when people talk about what they like to talk about, they type up a storm. When you're talking about something that they're not interested in, sometimes they don't answer, and sometimes what they do is they give you a short answer. Have you heard of telomeres? Yes, I remember telomeres from school. And she's got to be saying to herself, where's this guy coming from? And what he's doing, look at this. He said, question, 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 questions. You got to have a conversation. You make a statement, then ask a question. Like, I was reading an article about the telomeres and thinking about how they relate to what I'm doing. Have you heard of them? Well, yeah, I remember telomeres from school. Look at this. 07, 08, 09. What experience have they had on supporting them? And she gives them quite an answer. Other than optimizing the nervous system and optimizing firing patterns, overall neurology, retaining breathing, and gait, can't do nutrition support because of laws here. Okay. I can't do nutrition support because of laws. What does that mean? Well, he comes back and says, well, what experience have you had with network marketing? I'm familiar with it. But I can't do nutrition because of laws. What's that all about? I'm familiar with it. What experience have you had? Enough to know I don't have the time to put into it in order to get anything out of it other than wasted money. It's a time, effort thing that I don't have any interest in, is straying from my exploding practice and what I do best. Adjust. So now what we have here, clearly, and this was in December, is someone that clearly not a candidate for David's business. I'll give him credit for persistence. Understandable that if you can help all your clients feel more amazing and increase your business by $5K a month in retail profit, would you be open to taking a look without interfering with your practice or without? Now remember, she just told you previously that she's prohibited by law. What did she say? Can't do nutrition support because of laws. And she goes, no, nothing comes free. Nothing comes without effort or distraction, laser-focused vision on what is important, mission, vision, and purpose. Now, this was in December. You're right. Nothing is free. But since you're in the healing business, would you want your clients to have the best results possible? I get amazing results. Never felt things were lacking. Well, do you know anyone with osteoarthritis? Every person has some joint that is OA in it. Depending on their firing patterns, you can stop the progression by retraining their firing patterns. Now, when people are talking about things that they like to talk about, they type up a storm. Now, this is all from December. So he keeps going. She's already told them that she doesn't like network marketing. She already told him that there are laws prohibiting her from getting involved. And I'm saying to myself, look at all the time that he's spending, frankly, talking to somebody that clearly will never get into his business. Now, again, would you be open to look at a company that had products that you could be passionate about and enthusiastically recommend to others? No, I'm not interested. But do you know someone that has hit a wall in their business, might be looking for a way to diversify? Our laws are very strict. Also on MLM, not many of us are struggling enough to risk losing our license. Who do you know who needs to lose weight, make extra income, and wants youthful aging? And, she didn't answer. She didn't answer. All right, now, here in May, she's having a birthday. Wish you a happy birthday. And she writes, thank you. Well, it's nice to stay in touch. But if you've got so much time in the course of a day, there are other things that you could be doing than sending a birthday request or a birthday wish to someone that clearly is not ever going to be a candidate for your business. So that was 2 years ago. And so lo and behold, on Friday this year, he does it again. And then on Monday, she goes, how was your birthday? Thanks, had a great day. What did you get to do? And I'm saying, David, why? Why are you even bothering with this? Why? Not when you have so many other people out there that you could be talking to. My God. You got millions of people. All right? If you follow the program, you stick to the scripts, you learn about the other person, you're going to talk to fewer people about your business and you're going to close more sales. So Mija here makes a post. I'm ready to help 5 more people increase their bottom line, earning secondary residual income on the internet. And one person made a comment. He's an assistant utility supervisor at a pipe renewal company. And he says, where do we begin? And the correct response, the correct answer is, Bruce, I'd be delighted to tell you all about this, but why would you be interested in something like this? What do you currently do? You know, even though it doesn't cost you anything to send someone a link to look at a movie or go to a website, ask yourself this question. If every time you sent a link to somebody, you got billed $25, every time you sent a link to somebody, it cost you $25. I think you'd be a little bit more selective about who you sent that link to. Because frankly, the more selective you are, the more successful you're going to be. Another terrific example of how this process can work, all right? And what this shows, frankly, is how you can restart a conversation like that. Because everybody's hooked up to Facebook, to LinkedIn, on a mobile. And so this conversation was started in March. Carrie is the daughter of one of Tim's friends. And she's been posting pictures of her photography, and she's been liking a lot of his posts because he posts things about exercise and fitness. So, Carrie, I've been meaning to tell you that I appreciate the likes on some of my posts. It's always good to know someone really looks at these. I like your photos that you post from time to time. How long have you been doing this? Proper question should have been, what do you do? I like your photos. What do you do? So she writes back, hello, you're most welcome. I like that you're eating healthy and working out, because she's into eating healthy and working out too. I've done that most of my life and encourage others also, referring to eating healthy and working out. Photography has been my world for the last 2 years. I'm trying to rise to a level to make a living with it. Tough business, but fun. Again, we're talking about photography. What we really wanted to know is, what does she do? But look at the time, 2 minutes. So now he writes back, as long as you're passionate about things, it'll work out. It makes a difference to do something you're passionate about for sure, but he doesn't ask a question. She writes back right away, agreed. Thanks for saying hi, keep in touch. I got to get ready for work. Best to you. This would have been a perfect opportunity to ask, well, what do you do? Time from start to finish, 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Okay, so we're doing a coaching session. I'm logged into his account, and Tim says, Max, how can I restart a conversation, learn more about the other person? And I said, well, the easy way to do it is to look for something that they've done, react and respond to what they've done. And Carrie had just posted some really terrific pictures that were in a magazine. So we typed, and when I say we typed, I was doing the typing. Great photos you posted. I might have to go out and buy the magazine. I can see why you're trying to make a living in photography. You're very talented. Pay people compliments. What are you currently doing to make a living? And she goes, wow, thanks. I put out a calendar this year and it sold out. Just didn't make a good deal for profit, but I enjoyed the process. I took a 9-to-5 job at a golf and country club. Private resort, people are nice, but I don't enjoy the job, so to speak. Retail sales in a pro shop. What do you do? Amazing the amount of information you get back. People are talking about things that they like. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I get it. Talking to a golfer after a bad round of golf can be difficult, LOL. How long have you been working there? And she goes, right. I moved back from California this past July and I began to work here at the end of September. Okay. Now, I moved back from California this past July. Where was she living in California? How long did she live in California? Why did she move back from California? All great questions. So, we send back the message. Why did you move back? Miss Texas always did while I was out there. Beautiful place, but not for me. Marriage ended as well, and I could find work to support, and I couldn't find work to support my son who just turned 17. I worked out yesterday for the first time in a while, back on track with that now. Need to get ready for work. We can visit later. Thanks for reaching out, and have a good day. Now, she's got to go. But when you ask the appropriate question, believe me, you can get one more little piece of information because people love talking about themselves. But look at this. 1 minute. So, no way you have a 17-year-old son. I want to take the vitamins you're taking, LOL. Now, I have to admire your entrepreneurial effort by putting out the calendar. What kind of work have you done in the past? But she's got to go to work. So she'll thank you, you're very kind. I've done so very much that one day it will pay off. So, time start to finish 17 minutes. Total time talking to Kerry, 24 minutes. And within the next 4 minutes of their online conversation, he's going to know. California, all kinds of things. There is no way this woman doesn't have network marketing experience, and that's what you want to find out. You can use the transition lines we provide. You know, a lot of people, Kerry, today are making money on the internet. What experience have you had with network marketing? So, folks, I hope this gives you a little more insight into the way you use text to communicate with people. So let me ask you a question. What would you attempt to do if you knew you couldn't fail? What? What would you attempt to do? If you knew that you could log on to Facebook anytime you wanted, find someone to talk to, and engage them in a conversation that within 20 minutes you know they needed what you're marketing, they needed what you're promoting. Now, before I sign off, I want you to listen to one of my good friends about his experiences with the process that I'm demonstrating, and all you need to do to talk to somebody today, right now, is to use your Facebook page to react to something that somebody did, or to engage someone that reacted to something you did. Listen to my friend Dave Ledoux, $1 million earner in his company.
So over the last 20 years I've been doing network marketing, Max. The biggest fear new people have is, what do I do when I run out of lists of names of people to talk to? And 20 years ago, we would spend a couple $100 on a newspaper ad. Well, today, that's not realistic. There are no more newspapers. Nobody reads newspapers. And the brand new scared networker now thinks they have to buy blogs, buy autoresponders, and pay-per-click ads and become a master of internet marketing. And I want to tell everyone listening that is not true. I tell everybody, if they need more people to talk to Max Steingart, because you're the undisputed leader in my eyes of teaching people with a computer or a smartphone how to have endless people to talk to. And whether it's on a local or national or international basis, Max, you know, for 18 years, I've been a fan of your work. I evangelize your work. I tell people, before you spend a penny on advertising or buying tools you don't need, go through one of Max's free seminars. Your free content is superior to 99% of the paid content in the marketplace. And you've been doing this longer than anybody, and I have no hesitation in giving you my highest recommendation, Max. Without a doubt, you've added so much value to my business over the years. I tell everybody, got to talk to Max before you talk to anybody else. I've been using exclusively what you've taught me over the years to silently hunt with a sniper rifle. Brought in some pretty big guys pretty quickly, just through Facebook, through social media. You know, over the last 25 years, I was one of the original system sellers. You know, David Wood learned from Mike Dillard. Mike Dillard was one of my first students. Until 2008, I had 600 blogs. So when these Empower guys come say, hey, sell blogs, I kind of chuckle, because most of the stuff these guys are doing, we kind of pioneered in the late 90s. And I'm a very much system evangelical seller turned opponent. And I tell guys all the time, you don't need any of that stuff.
Well, bottom line is this, folks. Log on to your Facebook page. Find someone to talk to. Talk to 5 to 10 people about your business every day. Learn from them what their needs are. Find out what problems they have that you could help them solve. And you're all on your way to having amazing success in your business. Now, these free trainings that we're going to be putting on a regular basis are going to fill up very, very quickly. We've already had several that were totally overwhelmed. So I urge you, get on them early. And again, we're going to be here to help you talk to perfect prospects, identify them, and qualify them, and bring them into your business. Until next time, best of luck in building your business, and God bless.